Merzik appeared in our building's stairwell in November, the same day the first snow fell in the courtyard and the world went quiet, like cotton stuffed in your ears. He was sitting by the radiator between the first and second floors, gray, fluffy, with neat ears and attentive amber eyes. Someone had set a saucer of milk beside him, and he was drinking from it slowly, carefully, as though listening to every sound the building made. "Whose cat is that?" the neighbors asked. Nobody knew. He never meowed. Not once, he only watched. The old woman on the third floor named him Merzik. The name stuck to him the way dust sticks to wet fur. He let people pet him, but there was something off about it. Under your hand he seemed to give slightly, as if his body wasn't quite solid. Your fingers would sink into the short fur deeper than they should, like pressing into soft moss. The first to disappear was Anna Petrovna's canary. The cage was in the kitchen, the window closed. No feathers, no blood. Just thin gray threads in the corner of the ceiling, like cobwebs, but too dense, as though woven from hair. Then a little boy's hamster vanished from apartment 5. In the days that followed, Merzik started appearing on more floors. People spotted him by the trash chute, on windowsills near the baby carriages in the entryway. Sometimes he seemed larger, wider, as if his fur swelled when no one was looking. I began paying closer attention. When Merzik walked up the stairs, I could hear his steps, a scratching sound, like he was afraid of slipping. Except it sounded wrong. It sounded like more claws than any cat should have, clicking against each step. One night I went down to throw out the garbage and found him below me, standing under the bare bulb. His back was to me. He was trembling. No, not trembling. He was unraveling. His fur was separating like a sweater coming apart at the seams. From underneath, thin glistening limbs were pulling free, dozens, hundreds, knotted together in one writhing mass. The amber eyes dimmed and broke apart into clusters of tiny black beads, each one blinking independently. I couldn't move. There was no cat in front of me. It was a colony. Hundreds of spiders, packed so tightly together that from a distance they formed the convincing illusion of a body, a back, a tail, a head. They moved in synchrony, obeying some internal rhythm. When the cat turned its head, thousands of legs shifted and reformed into a new outline. When it blinked, the spiders across the surface of the face raised and lowered their dark abdomens in unison, mimicking eyelids. I took one step back, and the stair creaked under my foot. In an instant, the colony pulled itself together. The limbs retracted, the bodies compressed, and the fur closed over them like a wave. Merzik turned around, and for the first time he meowed. The sound was wrong, too long, too shrill, with a trembling, layered quality to it, as though hundreds of tiny mouths were making it at once. He looked at me, then he jumped, not at me, at the wall, and stuck to it. The fur fell apart, and the gray cat spread across the plaster like a living web. Spiders poured into cracks under the baseboard, behind the electrical panels, into gaps between the bricks. In seconds, the stairwell was empty. By morning, Merzik was back at the radiator, clean, neat, if anything fluffier than before, but now I could see something shifting beneath the skin, fur rising from the inside as though a wave were passing under it. I could see his shadow lagged by a fraction of a second, and in that shadow there weren't 4 legs, but many, thin and crooked. A week later, the man from the first floor disappeared. A solitary man who used to feed Merzik bits of sausage. The police found nothing, only a strange, dense webbing behind his sofa, as though someone had wrapped up an absence. Now Merzik rarely comes downstairs. He spends most of his time outside my door. Some nights I hear a soft rustling beneath it, the sound of dozens of tiny legs moving across the floor. Sometimes a thin gray thread appears in the gap at the bottom. It sways there, as if tasting the air. Today I noticed that Merzik is bigger. He has new eyes. The colony is growing. It needs more space, more warmth, more of us. Right now he's sitting on the other side of the door. I can see his shadow in the hallway. It's too wide for one cat. The door handle is slowly turning, and I can hear hundreds of tiny claws scratching at the wood, arranging themselves into the shape of a paw.